Let me go special guest as well. Donovan Sharpe
I'm
in
Donovan
the building.
Sharpe. Yeah, I'm Donovan Sharpe. That's all you guys need to know.
Welcome back to Miami, man.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm actually, I recently found out I was married. Yeah. So Dev and I, we get up and we're, watching this dude on YouTube, and I'm like, Dev, you got to come in here and see this. And we're watching this, and it was almost 3 hours long. And I was like, wait a minute. Like at the end of it, I was like, holy shit, I think, we're married. So we decided to jump on a plane, come down here to Miami, and we're on our honeymoon. So I guess.
Wait, did you guys elope?
We were married before I even realized it. But it was such compelling evidence. I mean, all sorts of Photoshop and also. I mean, I was like, hey, you know what? It convinced me. So.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Duke Reacts, part of the Duke and Don channel. And today, guys, so what did I promise you? All right, remember that civil war within a male improvement space that I was talking about that has been happening? Well, there has been some recent happenings and unfolding that has taken place, and I want you guys to make sure that you're aware of what's happening, okay? In this case, we're going to be talking about our good old dear friend, Mr. Donovan Sharpe, okay? Donovan Sharpe, we got a lot of stuff that we need to talk about because you got a lot of allegations leveraged towards you here and some things that you probably need to answer for. But before we go ahead and get into this deep dive of the beef that's still going on, the civil war within the manosphere, guys, I would like to say thank you so much for the new support. And if you like the content that we have going on over here, please do not hesitate to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so YouTube, I almost said Google, knows that that our videos are live, because trust me, you don't want to miss any of what's happening here. Because remember that avalanche I was talking about? That shit is coming, and it is gonna come hard. All right, so before we get started, who is Donovan Sharpe, right? We got to talk about who this man is, and to understand who Donovan Sharpe is within the manosphere or the red pill, it's important to understand how this stuff breaks down. All right, like I said before, in the past, there's a big divide right now. There's a big split between these two communities. All right, you got the red pill community on one hand. All right, the red pill, these guys are led by a guy named Rollo Tomassi. If you guys don't know, I did a video on him in the past, basically kind of showing out what this dude's really all about. I mean, they talk about alpha males and all that shit and whatnot, but then this guy, you're looking at him, it's like, bruh, you don't seem too alpha to me. But your books undeniably has changed lives. Like I said, I got the rational male books right here. All right, so you can't say I'm not reading your shit. I got your stuff right here. I'm just saying there's too much theories in it, not enough practicalities. All right, but this goes to the show that within the red pill community, there's other guys within it. All right, you got the Donovan Sharpes, you got the Coach Greg Adams, and all these other guys that fit within that mold. All right, these guys make up the red pill community. Now, red pill community, I want you guys to understand, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff they say, but I do agree with the majority of the things they say, because it is a real thing. You got to understand how females be working out here so you don't get finessed. The side that I don't agree with, and I think most of the newer channels that are coming out and in support since the Fresh and Fit beef took down and went down, we don't agree with the toxic messages that are being portrayed by most of these channels. We just don't. All right, when you're talking about putting these women in the boxes and single mothers and all these statistics that we like to bit women in the head over with, they don't work. They simply just don't work. All right, they don't measure up the practicality, and in this video you're gonna see a lot of that stuff happening. Okay, so that's the thing. So you got this divide right now. In the manosphere side, you got the leader, Kevin Samuels. All right, he's the godfather of that manosphere integrity, all that stuff going on there. Now, these guys actually vibe with a lot more than the red pill guys, because they actually still advocate for relationships, people being together, things like that. So if you watch a lot of Kevin Samuels' show, you watch a lot of these things, he basically kind of puts that on notice, like, hey, even though it's a little bit, he deals with people who are a little bit higher net worth. It's basically saying, hey, we need to bring men and we need to bring women together. This separation shit, this Miss Independent shit, it's not working. So his demographic, he's basically talking to a lot of post-wall broads that it's already too late for. But a lot of you younger chicks who still watch the show, it's something that you guys definitely want to pay attention to. But within the manosphere itself, there's a particular gentleman that you guys have to pay attention to. And he's actually been mentioned on a Fresh and Fit podcast for quite a bit, all right? And this guy's name is O'Shea Duke Jackson, all right? And now I've been checking out this man's content, and I think he is fucking hilarious. This man is funny. But the thing is, he's one of the guys you definitely don't want to take lightly, because within this industry, in terms of the manosphere side alone, he's the guys that kind of make a lot of decisions that kind of go on within that sphere in terms of who deals with who and what happens there. O'Shea Duke Jackson does a lot of behind the scene work. Now, a lot of you might say, if you're already familiar with him, well, his subscriber count was different from Kevin Samuels. Why would you say that he's the gatekeeper? Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, those guys in YouTube, the subscriber counts does not matter. It's what you do behind the scenes. It's the views and all that stuff that freaking matters. So if he's putting on all these different content creators, and he also has videos talking about how he put on the Godfather himself, Kevin Samuels. So it's one of those guys that you definitely do not want to sleep on. All right, now, why are we mentioning O'Shea Duke Jackson? Because O'Shea Duke Jackson is one of the guys that actually brought up and is responsible for the come up of Donovan Sharpe, okay? Donovan Sharpe, I believe, started working with O'Shea Duke Jackson on a blog series or something like that O'Shea Duke had going on. And apparently Donovan was an excellent writer. So he had him on and they were doing their thing. But eventually there was a split, all right? And there's a pattern you'll notice here with Donovan Sharpe. Donovan Sharpe is like literally, you can draw parallels between this dude and Myron Gaines. Okay, because this dude is a hothead. So it's one of those things where you got all these hothead beta dudes who talk about, oh my god, you know, women are this and women are emotional, women are that, and then you can't handle criticism or you kind of flip out. And that's essentially what happened that led up to the split between him and O'Shea Duke Jackson. It was some certain disagreements that didn't agree with, aka Donovan being a alpha guy, you know what I'm saying? You gotta beat your chest, woof woof, all that nonsense, and it basically pushed a lot of people away. He's one of those guys that you can tell, you know, he has that or wannabe dominance mentality. And the reason why I say dominance, wannabe dominance, is because you look at this man and just body language wise, he seems like a man that's out of place. He seems like a man that just doesn't belong. If you don't believe me, you go to his channel right now and watch him say the word nigga. All right, this is a black man that says the word nigga in the most awkward fucking fashion. It makes me kind of cringe, bro. And I say nigga all the fucking time. So I don't get it. So he seems to be like a man out of place. Also, when it comes to women, right? I enjoy a lot of his breakdowns, but the vast majority of it, man, it's literally, you could tell there's that Myron Gaines anger bubbling underneath the surface here. Which is fine. The guy admits that that's what he's all about. So I get it. But that attitude and that kind of mentality of I gotta be a top dog, I gotta be alpha, I gotta be all that shit was the reason that led to the split. Now, it's not saying that Donovan Sharpe is still part of the manosphere, but he is firmly on the side of the red pill guys. Now, within the red pill, there's a bunch of these different factions. Matter of fact, there are other pills out there that I didn't even fucking know about. Guys, at this point, it's getting ridiculous. You got the blue pill, you got the white pill, you got the black pill, all these different fucking pills. I mean, what the fuck's the matter with you guys? Just call it male self-improvement. I'm tired of these goddamn pill reference. But anyways, there are all these other pills that are out there, okay? So it's not just these guys. But Donovan Sharpe is one of those kind of people that would push people away, and that led to the split between him and some of the guys within the manosphere. So after that split, this guy goes over into the red pill side, and mind you, the red pill, you know, is led by the Godfather, Rollo Tomasi, right? Is what they call it. And even now, the more I think about it, the more research I do on this stuff, I'm starting to think that the real Godfather is this guy named Alpha Male Strategies, aka AMS. All right. Now, this guy, if anything else, I think he should be the real good Godfather. I'm not sure if he has any books out or anything like that, but he seems like the person that truly understands game better than the law lot of these other dudes out here, and I'm talking about game in terms of the practical sense, not the theoretical sense like Rollo Tomasi. Now, I can see why you would think someone like Rollo Tomasi would be the boss or the godfather, because a lot of this reference in the Rational Male books, right? They all reference this guy. They all reference the theory, which is good. And I don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not hating on this man's books. I think they're great, but I also think that practicality needs to follow through. And what the red pill has become now is become a twisted mess of just the theory side of it. And a lot of young men who buy into the theory side of it don't get a whole lot of chance to go out and actually experience the real world or understand what women is. But alpha male strategy strikes me as the kind of individual that kind of gets it, and he's very genuine and he wants to help guys out, even though he advocates about fucking these hoes to sleep. I agree with that. Yes. Parts of that I do. You gotta fuck some of these hoes to sleep and they will love you for it. Trust me. Okay, so the reason why I say he's the real godfather, because he's the guy that kind of seems like a lot of the guys, at least some of the guys who really are the heavy hitters in this game, really defer to. Rollo, just, if you really think about it, he seems like that pathetic guy that, I'm sorry, dude, that just leeches off of the fresh and fit count game kind of thing. You see him on the shows all the time. He's always doing all these super chats. Same thing with Donovan Sharpe. He also gets on the show, right? And the two similarities between both of these two guys is their channels apparently are not doing so well. All right, so one of them's they've been stagnant for such a long time. It hasn't even been funny. Another person hasn't really even moved. And they're bone dry as fuck. All right, so it makes sense why they would back up guys like Fresh and Fit, Myron Gaines, and Walter Weeks, because it's like these guys are helping them indirectly. Think about it, right? You got a bunch of beta male incels that go ahead and watch these Fresh and Fit show, right? They come in, they see all these, this emotional fervor that's going on. Myron Gaines is kicking out all these girls, and it's making them feel good. And you got Rollo Tomasi coming in, hitting them with the facts. The problem is that is the only way this dude and Donovan Sharpe can probably get business out there, and it's evident in what we're about to cover today. Guys, take a fucking seat, because this is gonna be an interesting and a long one, folks. Okay, so that's what we're sitting at right now. You got guys like Donovan Sharpe, Rollo Tomasi, who are kind of backing up Fresh and Fit just because they are that larger platform that's going to be able to help them out to get new views and kind of introduce them to the younger crowd. Because let's face it, Donovan Sharpe and Rollo Tomasi are striking me as two fellows that are completely out of date, especially when it comes to being in touch with the younger community. But you know, I digress, all right? That's kind of the breakdown within the hierarchy. Now, one of you guys may be asking, well, Duke, Don, okay? You guys are pretty much commenting on this stuff. You guys talk about it all the time, all right? And on top of that, you also give relationship advice. You know, you had a Yende on the other day, and you guys were in all the other girls, and you guys were talking about it. So where the fuck do you fall, right? I'll tell you, all right? Listen, although we agree with the red pill and some of the stuff that he offer, we lean more towards the whole manosphere side. But realistically, we kind of want to take a step back, and we're analyzing all of these different points. And it's not just us, guys. Like I mentioned in the last video, there's a bunch of these guys that have been covering the red pill spaces and the manosphere spaces, and they've almost kind of become the watchdog kind of community for that. However, none of them have really gotten a whole lot of shine until this whole Fresh and Fit thing popped off. All right, now everyone is starting to figure out what the fuck's happening, and then you got some of the fanboys coming over here. Oh God, leave him alone. Why do you always talk about Fresh and Fit? Like, why don't you talk about anything else? It's like, motherfucker, go back to our old videos, okay? We cover other content, and let me tell you this, okay? This is primarily a relationship and personal lifestyle kind of channel, okay? So we're gonna react to videos, and if they're popping videos, we're gonna cover it. Fuck your clout chasing comments. Yes, I'm a clout chaser. I don't give a fuck. It just means opportunity to me. Your dear leaders did the exact same thing. I don't see why me doing the same thing is a fucking problem. I'm just exposing their dumbasses. That's it. And if it makes you look bad because you paid $2,000 for a course, I'm so sorry. But welcome to the light side. We'll teach you how things are done around here. But with that being said, y'all want to pay attention to this because it's about to get real. All right, so like I said, it's not just us, it's a bunch of other creators out there. All right, and one of the videos we're going to be reacting to is by this creator called the Confidence Creator. Okay, this dude, I fuck with his vibe heavy because he reminds me of Cam Newton's little brother. But second of all, this dude, if he has a little brother, I don't know if Cam Newton has a little brother, but this dude looks like Cam Newton, bro, like 100% Cam Newton. But he's been one of the ones making these videos on these guys, especially Donovan Sharpe, which we're going to react to, kind of exposing the hypocrisy that these guys kind of have, right? The back and forth versus what they tell their audience versus what's actually true, right? And in this particular video we're going to be reacting to, it's actually Donovan's wife, who kind of exposed him and blows holes through his entire ideology. Okay, we'll cover that and much more. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with that video.
Yes. Oh my god, dude, I live vicariously through those videos. I stopped jerking off to porn when I was 37 years old. Sometimes I'll fucking whip out my dick and some fucking cocoa butter and fucking beat off to that stuff.
My bad, that's the wrong clip. But bro, you're a weirdo. Allegedly in this clip, and I have to say allegedly because I didn't find the full clip, you're talking about getting off to watching women get beat up by men. You got a lot of hate in you, and it's sad. But here's the right clip.
A lot of these red pill
there are
guys
other ways
have
of
anger.
leading a relationship than just being a financial breadwinner. And I know, like, and
I think that's true.
well, listen.
Here's how this works, right? Are there other ways of leading besides being the financial breadwinner? Yes, but being the financial breadwinner is where it starts.
This is false for many reasons. It's true, you can lead with your wallet, but I call that
trickin' if you got it, trickin' if you got it, trickin' if you got it, what you asking?
if I give you a
Let's stop it right there. He has a freaking excellent point, man. And it's just crazy because I don't know why you fresh and fit stands or you red pill stands haven't figured this shit out yet, okay? These motherfuckers are playing on your fucking emotion. Exhibit A, they're telling you that the best thing that women care about is money. And what he goes into is like, yeah, it's a little bit different than that, all right? What these girls don't even, here's the thing, man. Girls don't even give a shit about your money like that, all right? They don't give a shit. What they want is someone who has the means to protect them. That means that every guy out there, if you don't have the means to take care of you, you don't have the means to take care of a woman. Therefore, a woman is not going to find you attractive. And Donovan Sharpe, his wife, basically disproves him. But one thing you got to pay attention to, all right, is what a lot of his talking points, and a lot of talking points that a lot of these red pillars say, all right? They talk about leading with your money. They talk about, you know, oh, you got to have your looks. You got to have the six-pack. You got to have the six figures. These are the main things that keep these young men entrapped into these guys' program, because what they want you to believe is that you have to go ahead and get all this stuff in order before a woman goes in to talk to you. Like I was talking about to my buddy the other day, we're reviewing a comment that was on our channel where this kid was talking about, look, I'm 23, watching Fresh and Fit stuff. They're telling me that it making me feel like I can't even get girls or pursue girls because I got to be a millionaire. This is the kind of toxic shit they're talking about, right? So this guy Donovan Sharpe kind of just exposed himself there, talking about, well, if I didn't have the money, you wouldn't be with me. And this girl's like, bruh, I don't think that's true. I mean, I would be with you regardless. All right, but let's continue.
$1 million today, does that make you a good leader? No. If your girl starts an Onlyfans page and gets paid, should she lead your family? No. If a woman makes more money than you, does that make her a good leader?
No.
Lastly, a pimp doesn't make money, but he's a leader because of this game and knowledge he possesses. Women give him money and they see him as a leader. I talk about that in the Keep Your D Out of Her video.
Let's just say, for example, the roles reversed. Let's just say you were Devin Sharpe and I'm your assistant Donovan. Right? Mm-hmm. Dude, I'd be out the door in 2 seconds or less because you're the breadwinner. Yeah, I could be all alpha and this and that and the other, but in the end, man, like, there's no romance without finance. You wouldn't have as much respect for me if I weren't who I was and if I weren't making what I made.
Well, you even early in our relationship, the roles were somewhat reversed.
Yeah, they were actually.
Wait, what? The roles were reversed.
You know, and so I feel like the reason why it worked then is because you set boundaries and expectations. There may have not been that financial, leadership at the moment. Of course, that's different now. But I mean, it reminds me of a caller that you had once that was like, how do I reward my woman if I'm just a regular guy?
Right.
How do I lead a relationship if we both work? You know, and that's 90% of guys that are out there are like, okay, I'm a normal person. I work, she works. I don't really make more than she does, so I can't really tell her what to do. How else?
Let me ask you this.
I really
Hold on, before he goes into his point, I want to just harp in on that because that makes so much fucking sense. Like I said, the theory versus practical. What she just says is there are a majority of guys out there who are in relationships where their women are the breadwinners, and I've personally been there. As a matter of fact, when I used to work in finance, I managed portfolios where the woman was a doctor, making far more than the man, but they still made it. They had together and they made it work. So when we talk to guys, when we listen to guys like Donovan Sharpe and stuff like that, where he's clearly in this video trying to basically put his ideology on his girl, and she's sitting there like, bruh, the roles were reversed earlier in the career. Like, if you didn't have money and I still took care of your ass, so what are you talking about? Like, I took care of you for you. Like, what are you doing? But you can see how he's trying to push the fact, like, no. If I didn't have the money, if I wasn't this guy, if I wasn't gonna be Mr. Donovan Sharpe, let's face it, you'd be out the door in 2 seconds. You'd be out the door. And that's the message they try to preach to young guys, where you gotta have money, you gotta be financially stable, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, or your girl's gonna leave you. And here you have it from the dude's wife's mouth herself, and she's saying, look, the roles were reversed earlier in the relationship, and I was still with you, and I still held it down, right, until you come up, because you had the drive and the ambition and the plan. That's what she was saying. You had the plan to make it happen. That's all it is. Young men, pay attention. These guys are selling you snake oil. It's all snake oil. They don't give a shit. Right? Because then they can come in and sell you a course on how to be a businessman. Where there's free videos and freaking tutors out there and resources that can help you figure that shit out on your own. That's what this whole game is all about. It's to sell you shit. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind the hustle. It's fine. It's cool you want to do that, but you have to come with the balance of facts, and that's the problem. So when you guys talk to us about why are you guys going after these people, like, leave them alone, it's because you're doing shit like this that poisons the minds of a lot of young men out there. So you heard it from the dude's wife. If the roles were reversed. You didn't have money, and I still held it down till you did. So young men out there, pay attention. You don't have to have the 6 figures. You don't have to be 6 feet. You don't have to be all these other nonsense, some of these red pillars they try to push on you. You don't have to be any of that. You just have to be confident in yourself, and you have to have a plan. That's it. Not just a plan for you, but a plan for her. When we had the show back with Allende, right? And we had with the girls and whatnot. What did one of the girls say, right? I want to make sure I'm with a man that can lead me in the right direction. You can't be that man for that woman if you don't know what direction you're going. Because at that point, when she joins your life, you have to put her to work. She has to go to work building this empire. If you don't put your girl to work when she's with you, if you don't have her do stuff that's beneficial to the unit that you're building, guess what? That's a whole lot of time on her hands you don't want her to have, because then that's going to be turned to analyzing your ass and your faults. That's what's going to happen, and that's why relationship falls apart, and that's the crap that Donovan Sharpe is trying to push. So if he didn't have all that plan, if he didn't have the fact that, okay, I'm going to be doing this YouTube thing and where that's going to go, of course that wouldn't have worked out, because no one wants to be with a bum. And that's what you guys got to understand. They sell it as, oh, well, you know, the sooner, if you're broke, she's not going to mess with me. She's not going to do any of that. You know, she's going to leave you the minute you lose your money. No. If you lose your drive and ambition and your plan to go with it, then she leaves. Because she doesn't feel that there's a safety net there of being led. That she's not confident that the person she decides to submit to is going to lead them out of whatever mess that they're in right now. And that's one thing you got to understand. These people are selling you snake oil.
Just like that, he cut her off because she was making some really valid points. Even though Donovan wasn't making money, he had goals and dreams. And more importantly, he put the work in. So Donovan could lose it all, and Devin would be right there with him, holding it down.
Why did you? So let me ask you this. I was contributing nothing, right? Yeah, I had a little bit saved up, but you were literally, like, you were supporting me the entire time, right?
Yeah. I mean,
why? But why did you? Right? Because, I mean, listen. I had kind of a plan, but I didn't expect it to turn into this.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't expect it to, I know you didn't see it unless you're clairvoyant. Why in the world, why did you do what you did?
Because she likes you, dumbass. It's that simple.
Such an
Because I
idiot.
wanted to be with you.
Oh, my God.
Is it that hard to believe that a woman just
Is it that fucking hard, Donovan, that your girl that you're with right now genuinely likes you? Right? But you want to try so hard to front for these dudes that you're selling all these damn programs at. And I'm going to call y'all desperate dudes because anybody you paying this guy for his programs or whatnot. Look, I don't care if you support him. I personally love the fact that he does his breakdowns because he gets in the body language and the anonymics and whatnot. But it's the fact of the messaging, all right? You got to be congruent. You got to preach this messaging with integrity. You're sitting here trying to, push with these weird ideologies on your wife, and she's sitting there telling you, I was with you for you, bruh. I was with you for you. I'm here to ride down with you. Yeah, we didn't know where your podcast was going to go, but I was still going to be here with you. I was still going to ride with you because you're the guy I chose, because you're that guy who set a plan, who led. You didn't have to have the money. You didn't have to have all these other stuff. You had a plan, and I trusted it. That's it. So a lot of you guys paying attention, to get a girl, you just have to have direction. And when you get direction from good mentors are going to teach you how to be a man. Because this guy has temper problems. And you'll see that as we start to go through this whole exposed video. But he's got issues. So we can't be taking emotional cues from emotional people if they're spewing stuff that doesn't make any sense. Right? So your wife was with you. Why is it so hard to believe that she's with you for you? Like, do you genuinely believe that all females out here, just finesse dudes, and if the dudes didn't have the money or the shit, they're just going to leave them? I mean, come on, bro. My ex-wife, the reason I married her, because before I even had money, before we even had anything, bro. When I was going to buy my Mazda, she shelled out $1,000, pretty much her entire paycheck. She was working as a waitress, bro. She gave all that to me just so I can have my car. No fucking hesitations. And that's when I knew I'm going to put a ring on it. That was it. All that other shit we did before, because you did a selfless act to a man that you were just dating. It's not we're engaged or anything. We were just dating. But you provided a selfless act that put you at your detriment so I can have this car. Nah, I gotta do this because you've been with me for a while now. I know exactly what it is you're looking for. Now that you've proven to me that you can make this happen, I'm gonna put a ring on it. That's how that shit works. It's not that hard to believe that there are women out there who will ride for you for who you are as long as you have a plan. That's it.
genuinely likes you?
All right. So is
see, I missed the whole marry up lesson growing up. You know,
Sure.
I don't. That's never been important to me. I guess I just never really thought that way.
The truth is, not all women think that way. Like Donovan and his gang lead on to believe. Advice from my wife. She quotes, "Sure, if you ask any woman, do they want a millionaire boyfriend, they'll all say yes. But the truth is, when that average guy comes around that treats them right, they're gonna give him a chance. Just like if I asked every man, do they want a woman like Rihanna, they're all gonna say yes. But the truth is, I've seen some of your girlfriends. But moving on."
listen, I'll tell you this.
But I wanted to be with you. I wanted you to live with me.
All
I
right.
wanted, and the hardest part was feeding you. I mean, keeping food in the house was the hardest part of it. That
Oh
and
my
the
God.
electricity bill.
Yeah,
But,
I know all about that.
but
She basically
We're gonna end it there, bro. That was my guy, freaking confidence creator, and he's really good at what he does, man. I've watched a lot of his videos, and the breakdowns are freaking solid. You want to talk about exposed videos and people who've been doing it longer? Confidence creator is the guy. Okay, so go ahead and check it out. But to before we move on to check up on that last point, right, bruh? She was feeding you, paying the bills, all that stuff while you out here getting your grind. So when you finally made it, what do? All these supporters that have been paying you to get to where you are, you turn around and tell them that relationships and women are this and that, and you try to give them the toxic ideology of shit not working. That doesn't make any sense. Why don't you teach your followers to find women like your girl? Why don't you teach your followers to go say, hey, I got this girl that's ride or die with me right now, and this is a story. This is how she rode or die with me. Y'all can find that same shit too. Nah, instead you want to preach singledom. You know, have all these red pill guys over here, these stands come out here and they single and they're miserable and they're out here trying to like send messages to people. You know, that's what this is. You're building a freaking structure of toxic people. That's what we're doing. We're not meant to be single as human beings, man. We're meant to find people to come together with. That's what it is. And yeah, there are a lot more toxic people out there. Don't get me wrong. But the goal is to find someone who's going to be there for you. It's not to try to score a box, all right? Because all you guys, what these guys make it out to be is like, oh, well, you got to get the box. You want to get the box, right? You got to get the rotation, get all these boxes, right? It's not how it works. That's not how the real world works, all right? First of all, it takes a lot of time and energy to procure the box. That's why a lot of your creators right now, a lot of these motherfuckers, they're in relationships. A lot of these people who are telling you what it is that's happening out here, they're in actual long-term relationships, and they're trying to convince you that long-term relationships aren't things that you should pursue. We're human beings, man. We love people, we want to be with people, so why don't we go ahead and start teaching ideologies that helps people go seek out the people that are right for them, and that starts with healing themselves first before they could go out and try to love others. But that's what I have to get with that video. Moving on to the beef in question, all right? To the actual beef in question. Now that we kind of have an understanding of who this Donovan Sharpe guy is, okay? We know he's a hothead. We know how he is and what he talks about with women. But what actually set this entire beef off, all right? I'll tell you. Okay, so right now, Donovan Sharpe is beefing with this guy named Kevin Rail Wilder, all right? Now, Kevin Rail Wilder is another guy who is, just like Confidence Creator, is another guy who makes these exposed videos about the red pill. Now, I believe with a Confidence Creator, I don't think he's like a manosphere guy or anything like that. But with Kevin Rail Wilder, this guy is a white pillar. Okay, remember all these pills I was talking about that they're just popping up out of nowhere? Everyone's popping pills, red pill, blue pill, purple pill, right? This apparently he belongs to the white pill. However, I've watched some of his stuff. It looks like he does give good advice to a lot of men out there. But it was a particular interview he did with this lady called Gustav. Okay, now Gustav, I mean, I'm not too sure about her. What people are saying is that she was from the Fresh and Fit. She was one of the Fresh and Fit guests on a podcast, right? She's one of the girls got kicked off, and now she's apparently a Instagram model. But in this day and age, I mean, everyone says they're an Instagram model, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to take that with a grain of salt. However, Kevin Rail Wilder did an interview. Go ahead and check out his channel if you want to watch a full clip of it, with Gustav, and they were basically talking about the entire situation with Fresh and Fit and what was going on and things like that. And what ends up happening is that, and this podcast was a reaction to the videos that were on there, because it was what's going on at the time with the whole Fresh and Fit nonsense. And essentially what happened is Donovan Sharpe caught wind of one of the videos, right? And this guy goes into one of her channels, and there was a video that he did breaking down one of the points that she had, all right, using, a lot of her clips. But then she took that, right, because she went at Donovan Sharpe. She was the first one to go after him, kind of poking holes in some of his ideologies, which clearly you can see they're not that fucking hard to poke a hole in it. Even your own wife poked a hole in your fucking ideas, brainchild. So you see how difficult it is. So he goes on a 2-hour plus live stream, all right, and then basically goes on to talk shit about, Gustav and her situation. So when she responds using a little clip of the video of him just basically railing in on her, right? And by the way, that whole entire breakdown live he did, there was no breakdown done about that particular situation whatsoever, all right? He paused it like multiple times and then basically stopped to call her a fat, whatever it is. So all these different languages and whatnot, that's pretty much all he did. She took about 5 seconds of that clip and basically posted it as part of an intro to kind of just like, say, hey, fuck you. Guess what? This person is swimming in your head right now, right? Because he also called her attractive, which, she's cute, whatever. But then this motherfucker goes in and copyright strikes the video. And with this point being said, let's go ahead and react to our next video on this and have you hear it from Kevin Ray Wilder's mouth himself, exactly what the hell went down, and then we'll have our commentary right behind it, okay?
Girl Guste Janice a few days ago on this channel. She was on the Fresh and Fit podcast, I think like a few months ago, and then she's been making her own videos debunking their points and whatnot. And so, interestingly enough, one of her videos caught the attention, one of her Instagram videos, I think, caught the attention of one Donovan Sharpe. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's actually one of the main mentors of Fresh and Fit. A lot of the takes that you hear on Fresh and Fit's channel, they've actually learned from Donovan Sharpe. Things such as women cheat, men just have sex, and as well as like women are incapable of leadership. And we need to protect women from themselves. Those types of platitudes that are commonly spouted within the griftosphere. These guys learned from Donovan Sharpe. All right. So funny enough, Goose Day and I, we had our podcast. It went great. And she messaged me a few days later saying, "Hey, I got copyright striked from Donovan Sharpe." And this is really interesting because the video that Goose Day uses in her intro shows Donovan Sharpe, because Donovan Sharpe actually, because Fresh and Fit can't really fight their own battles when they face criticism, so they go to the other smaller channels that they learned from and they outgrew in order to fight their own battles. So Donovan Sharpe.
Let me just touch up on that point for a second, because I think that is absolutely factual, okay? Donovan Sharpe is, like I said, he's one of those channels that has been stagnant for a long time within the manosphere space, and it makes sense because this dude has been beefing with damn near everybody. I mean, he's been beefing with the manosphere. They're not really fucking with him like that no more. And there's another one that he's going to go into, but this guy, he started the 21 conventions and whatnot. That was kind of the biggest beef he's had, but he's had different beefs with other creators in the red pill space too as well. Donovan Sharpe just seems like the guy that just can't work with anyone efficiently, right? So the only people he really fucks with right now are Rollo Tomasi, which also needs the freaking views because his channel is not doing so well. And his case is just that he's dry. I mean, if you go watch this dude, he's a dry motherfucker, bro. So it's like, bro, get you some personality, and maybe people will eat up some more of this crap that you're selling. But realistically, they both, what they have in common is Fresh and Fit, because Myron Gaines, back when he had his podcast before it was Fresh and Fit, they did a lot of stuff with Donovan Sharpe. They did a lot of work with Rollo Tomasi. That was kind of their come up, right? They used Donovan Sharpe's clout, Rollo Tomasi's clout, to pretty much a stepstone over that. And then obviously they had the female fog factor that kind of took him over the edge. And since then, Donovan Sharpe and these guys, Rollo Tomasi, they've been figuring out ways to try to get new audiences in because their channels have kind of stagnated, and Fresh and Fit was it. So when this whole controversy blew out, these motherfuckers were the same ones that won't even lay down constructive criticism to even help their own guys out because they were so afraid. That's what these guys are. And Donovan Sharpe, he's kind of like the pit bull, the watchdog for Fresh and Fit, like he said, right? So if anyone criticizes Fresh and Fit or Rollo Tomasi, this dude's out there. Alpha male. It's so trash, man. It's really trash. But let's continue.
More specifically, he made a stream making fun of Nina Unrated and then also Goose Day, right? And in that, he's saying some pretty reprehensible stuff. I'll play a short clip of what he says here, or what he was talking about in his videos here, and you decide for yourself. So before we move on, I want to cite the fair use laws here from the government website, particularly this highlighted portion. If the use includes a large portion of copyrighted work, fair use is less likely to be found. If the use employs only a small amount of copyright material, fair use is more likely. So for both myself and Goose Day's video, we only use a very small portion of Donovan Sharpe's content. Therefore, getting a copyright strike claim shouldn't be allowed.
Gusta Janice,
Yeah,
I don't know how you
find that
even
clip.
pronounce
It
that.
wasn't there.
She's a slut. She's this pro-feminist, blah, 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 blah. She's a good-looking girl, man. She's beautiful. But, dude, not worth it. Stay away from this girl. Stay away from this woman. She is dangerous to your health.
Okay, so Goose Day, she did one of those things of like steer into the skid, right? Steer into criticism. So she actually like took that and said, hey, I'm just going to use this as my intro, right? Haters going to hate, I think that's pretty cool, but whatever. Be your own judge of that. But here's the thing. She got copyright striked because of that. All right? And I think most of you guys probably can't relate to this because you're not YouTubers yourself. So the few YouTubers that do watch this, you'll understand. It's like, look, when somebody uses part of your content, it's kind of an unspoken rule to like not copyright strike them, especially if you do react.
Facts. And that's one thing that kind of strikes me as weird, especially with this stuff. Like Donovan Sharpe, if this shit's true and you out here striking channels that use a 5-second clip of you calling them a slut in their own video, like that's the most fucking childish, the most insensitive, emotional shit that I've ever heard. And realistically, bro, you need to slap yourself for that, because bro, that's so fucking emotional. It's not even funny. Yet you go on a stream for 2 hours pretty much lambasting this woman, right, using her content. And that's the funny thing I find crazy about these guys, right? They sit there and talk about responsibility and, you know, own up to yourself and take care of your life and take charge, and the minute the one little criticism comes out of the woodwork, they lose their fucking minds. They lose their fucking minds, bro. How did you even know that her channel was talking about you, right? How did you even know her channel existed if you was this big, you know, freaking channel? Nah, you out here looking for her. That's what you are. You were out here headhunting for her. And that's one thing you guys got to understand about the toxic red pill spaces, right? I'm not talking because you want to separate the toxicness, and that's why we're here. We want to separate these fuckers, right? But these guys who are spewing these toxic ideology, they're more comfortable with being aggressive with women than they are with other men. And we're explaining the follow-up with this too, and why that's the case. But they are more willing to go ahead and attack a woman, right? Like we had 360 on the show. Y'all remember 360? We had him on the show. He's a Fresh and Fit. He was a former Fresh and Fit stan, and he was one of those guys who were part of those circles that went out and attacked Anna Quinn, right? So these are the kind of mentality that we're fostering here. This guy so fucking emotional, right? Because someone took a clip of you insulting them. And you go to their channel and copyright strike them. That's the funny thing he's talking about, because the majority of YouTube, it's all reaction videos. Matter of fact, commentary and reaction is pretty much what all YouTube is. People come in to YouTube to see their favorite reactions of popular topics from their favorite content creators. That's literally it. That's what they come in to do, right? And it's funny because it's the same thing with some of y'all Fresh and Fit fans that call us clout chasers. Oh, you guys are talking about Fresh and Fit in the manosphere. You guys need to stop. You guys need to stop talking about that. I'm like, you leave them alone. It's like, no, motherfucker, it's the algorithm. This is how YouTube works. If YouTube says talk about it, talk about it. And yeah, it is clout chasing because that's all YouTube is. But guess what? The people that come in for the drama and then they stay, you want them, ideally some of them, to stay for the original stuff. And that's how you build a freaking channel. But some of you bozos out there, you Fresh and Fish, you'd rather go in and talk shit on other people's channel than actually go out now and building yours. I guess your fucking leader isn't teaching you how to do this stuff for yourself. So I don't blame you. But let's go ahead and continue.
Videos yourself on your channel. So I do reaction videos. So when people react to my reaction videos, sometimes I get notifications of like copyright. Somebody might be using your content. I just ignore it. It's kind of like this unspoken truce that YouTubers have among one another, like the sense of honor of like, okay, well, you don't strike me, I'm not going to strike you, because we both do reaction videos. Donovan Sharpe, funny enough, did a reaction video to Goose Day, and yet when Goose Day has part of what he talks about on his channel, so Donovan Sharpe talking about Goose Day on his channel, she put on her channel intro, and then he copyright striked it. And funny enough, this is another thing too, you won't get this unless you're a YouTuber. Unless you play like a really extended clip, you're not even going to get a notification that somebody's using your content, right? She uses like maybe 5 seconds of Donovan Sharpe, you know, really exposing himself for who he is and calling Goose Day names and whatnot. The only way for him to have found out that she was using that as her channel intro is for him to deliberately be watching her videos and then deliberately going out of his way to copyright strike her. And this makes Donovan a massive hypocrite. Knowing, but
No. This makes all of them massive hypocrites. Every single one of these guys, these red pillars, whatever it is, it makes all of them incredibly large hypocrites, because they're the ones who talk about, you know, being calm and, you know, being a man, and this is what you got to do. These are the testaments in the Bible of what it takes to be a man and handle yourself in the real world. Yet these motherfuckers are the same ones that get mad when a girl that they're actually insulted, that they have insulted on their platform, goes in and comment on them. It's ridiculous, man. Y'all just as emotional to some of the bras that you talk shit about. It's just be real. Just be honest. That's how it is. But with that being said, there's a follow-up to this, because this video I just played for you guys right now, okay? Donovan Sharpe ended up responding to Kevin Real Wilder. And guys, I'm sorry, bro, but I'm gonna have to ask y'all to subscribe or like the video. At least do me a favor and get this seen by more people, okay? Because watching all these streams to be able to get you guys the information is fucking taxing, and quite frankly, some of these guys are just horrible. But Donovan Sharpe did do a response to Kevin Ray Wilder, essentially calling him out into a debate, right? Come debate us, right? And so they were going back and forth with that, and that was supposed to happen. Apparently, that never happened because Kevin Ray Wilder never showed up. So Donovan Sharpe still goes on the show that was supposed to be in the debate and basically lambasts Kevin Ray Wilder about how he wasn't gonna show up. It was a little bitch. Oh my god, this kid, I knew I was gonna run circles around him, all this stuff he was talking. Don't believe me? Go to this channel and check it out. That it's all right there. So he goes and he lambasts this dude, and then come to find out that this dude set up a debate 4 hours ahead of time. Not even a day, not even 3 days. And those of you guys in the YouTube community, if you want to talk about collabing, if you ever collab with someone before, you have to schedule it not only around them, but you got to schedule it at a time that works for you too as well. But doing it saying, hey, 4 hours later, let's have a debate, that's in a way kind of trying to hope that he doesn't show up, right? So what the fuck are you afraid of, Donovan? I mean, let's be real. You're supposed to be a tough guy, right? You're supposed to be a macho, fucking alpha dog, and you're sitting here running away from debates. Listen, okay, if that's true that you only set it up 4 hours ahead of time, because that's what Kevin is stating. He's saying, look, you didn't give us enough time for this debate. I wanted to come here and I wanted to talk to your ass about this situation, because the whole stakes of this entire debate was that if Kevin Ray Wilder was to prove to Donovan Sharpe that he himself is not a misogynist, he will unban Gustav's post and whatever it is, right? And he set the time 4 hours. Obviously, no one's gonna make it out in time. Listen, if you send me an invite in 4 hours to be able to come on and do a interview or debate, first of all, that's not enough time to get me to get prepared, right? Because I'm coming on your platform, so I'm gonna expect you to be prepared. But if I'm not coming prepared in 4 hours, what the fuck am I going to go in there and embarrass myself for? I'm not gonna do it. It's a lopsided situation. So most YouTubers or most people you're gonna collab with, guess what? They are not gonna take that bait, because it's just an unfair advantage. So if you set it up to that quick at a time, I think there needs to be a rematch. I think there needs to be a reset up within the debate. I think that you guys need to set up a time that works best for you guys so you can hammer it out. And I think Donovan Sharpe, I think this is a great event for the entire manosphere at large, because we want to see. We want to know what's happening here. We want to hear your points on why you think Gustav is what she is, and we want to hear his points on why he thinks Gustav is what it is. But realistically, it's not what you said on your stream, Donovan, because I watched the whole thing, and you basically were calling this dude a simp for Gustav. Like, he was basically saying that he was simping for this chick, and you guys clearly watched the video. It was someone that he brought on the show. They had a cordial interview and a cordial interaction, and no way did it seem like this dude was trying to simp for her, man. So that's the thing with these red pill guys. If you're remotely nice or remotely respectful to women, they're automatically gonna label you as a fucking simp. Like, guy, come the fuck on. That's why you're not getting pussy. That's why you're sitting here frustrated. That's why you're sitting here listening to all the guys who don't respect, who also don't respect women, lead you astray, because they're telling you not to respect women. They're telling you to put women in boxes and treat them however sort of way, right? If you want to get the box, you gotta treat people with respect. It's just how this works. All right, they're people too. They're not gonna be sitting there like fucking structured slaves, and you're gonna say, oh, you well, you have this, so I'm not gonna talk to you, or you have to give me this, or I have to do this. This is a back and forth. It's like, nah, bruh, that's not how it works. They have their own people, they have their own thoughts, they have their own feelings, right? You don't control any of that. None of you guys do, and none of you guys are in a position to control any of it. So Donovan Sharpe, I'm gonna ask you this, all right? If this is true, right, because these allegations that are being leveraged against you being a bitch and pussying out of the debate, by sending the 4 hours ahead of time, right? If that was true, you know, the best thing you can do right now to save your skin, to save yourself and keep your podcast going up and up and up, if it actually is moving, right, is to actually come out and debate this dude. Debate Kevin Ray Wilder. And those of you guys who are listening right now, right, put a 1 in the chat if you want to see this debate between Kevin Ray Wilder and Donovan Sharpe. And we'll see if this actually happens, because Donovan, the way you set everything up, it kind of seemed like you were running, bro. That was a low-key bitch move. Anybody who was watching that can tell you that was a bitch move, right? Anyone can tell you that, yo, set the debate at that time frame means you were trying to run from something. It is what it is. If you wanted to be real, give ample time so not only the followers can follow it, his followers can follow it, but now, motherfucker, that I'm involved in, I'm watching your ass, our followers can follow it. We want to know. Put a 1 in the chat or put a 1 in the comment section. Do you want to see Donovan Sharpe debate Kevin Ray Wilder on if the red pill space is filled with misogyny? I want to see it, because that's a valid question. Is the red pill space filled with female hatred? I want to find that out. I want to know. And I'm sure the thousands of young red pill stands and fresh and fit stands out there would like to know too as well. And since you are the de facto, you know, studies guy that a lot of these guys like Myron Gaines and Fresh Prince CEO get their Bible and gospel from, you know, since you're the guy they get all the information from, this should be a walk in the park for you, Donovan. This should be a walk in the park. So you go ahead and contact Kevin Ray Wilder, and you set up a good time that is to talk, and I best believe we'd be watching. But then again, chances are you're probably not gonna do it, right? You're probably gonna pussy out and bitch out, right? Like you decide to go on some small channel and copyright strike them just because they use the footage of you basically lambasting them and calling them a slut and all these different words. Dude, I mean, I don't know why people follow you or listen to you, but you got a lot of deep-seated issues. Like I said before at the start of this show, you seem like a guy that's fucking out of place, all right? And I don't know, it's the fact that you're faking who you are, Donovan, right? And I'm not even sure if that's your real name, Donovan Sharpe, right? We don't even know. We don't know if it is. No one knows who you are right now, right? There's a lot of exposed videos that are coming out on you right now. So a lot of people are starting to question, who is Donovan Sharpe, right? I'm starting to question, who is this guy? Who is this red pill guy that people are paying attention to and giving all the money to? I think the audience deserves an answer. So Donovan, there's your fucking invitation. You go ahead and take it if you want to, but chances are you're probably not. And Kevin Ray Wilder, if you're seeing this video, let us know what happens. Matter of fact, if you want to come on this show and explain your side of what the hell happened, please let us know. And if anything that I got wrong, or what the information that was sent to us is wrong, or whatever the hell it is, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to bring you on and talk about this. We want to know what is happening in the manosphere spaces. And that is the update for the for now. More to come. With that being said, you guys make sure to subscribe. Make sure you like this video so YouTube picks it up and shows it to more people. And have a wonderful day.